guys, it's Brian Barr from Streetside Classics here in Charlotte, and I'm standing today with a legend, Glenn Urie. Glenn, it's nice to meet you, and thank you for having us to the house.
Well, thank you.
So, those of a certain era probably remember late 60s, early 70s, the show car scene, and the wild machines that were out there. I'm blessed that in my very own backyard, the Coca-Cola vending machine is right here. And we're proud to have it at Streetside Classic. And Glenn and I are going to chat a little bit about it today.
Okay.
Where did you get this idea to build a vending machine, Glenn?
Well, over in Ohio, Carl Casper had the popcorn wagon.
Okay, I remember that.
And I thought, you gotta have Coke with popcorn, and so that's where I got the idea.
So how did you just decide that I was going to do this, or did you approach Coca-Cola, or?
We did a 24T Roadster, and we won the Nationals with that, and then I was getting trophies, but I can't eat those, so I wanted to be a feature car.
Gotcha.
And so that's where I got the idea to try to make a feature car.
And that was the WT, was your award-winning Roadster.
Right, yes. I just started putting parts together and finally got all the parts and I designed the intake, 4 barrels, had the independent suspension, was the very first Corvettes came out with one. I had one of those and assembled all that together, and then I was ready, and then so we decided that we'd try to go with Coke.
Gotcha. And now, those are real vending machine parts.
Those are the real ones from Kokomo, Indiana's Coca-Cola place.
So you went to them and said...
They donated all of them to me.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And the goal was to go to the Autorama and to compete for a Riddler?
Yes, that's what it was. Because, like I said, I couldn't eat trophies, so I wanted some of that good money. And so I did that, and we got it ready and took it to Detroit. That's where we had it and ready to show it.
So when you got there, I heard there's an interesting story about that.
Yes, everybody heard about it. And so when we opened the doors, it was like 15 degrees out, and it was in underneath the building.
In Cobo Hall?
Cobo Hall. And we rolled that thing out, and there must have been 200 or 300 people. And so when here I am, 28 years old, young kid, country. And so we started pushing it up there, and Larrabee, who run the shows at ISCA, he said, Glenn Urie, come to the office.
So I called you over the loudspeaker?
Over the loudspeaker.
Like the principal in high school?
Yes.
That never happened to you, though, I'm
and
sure.
I was shaking like a leaf. And so I went up there, and the first thing Larrabee said, I hate to tell you this, Glenn, but you can't get into the Riddler Award. I was destroyed, because that's why my step to get up to be a feature car. And so he said, I'm sorry. But he said, the good thing is, it's a feature car today.
That's a good thing.
That was a real good thing. I went back and set it up. Next day I come in, and Larrabee on the thing again said, Glenn Urie, come to the office. I got to the office, and he said, the model company's here. They want to make a model out of your car. In 2 days, it become the very top show car ever.
That's crazy. That's just amazing. And I remember these model kits as a kid. I grew up in this era, and I built them all, including this car as a kid. So now tell us how you got the trophy in the background from him.
Larrabee, well, I told him, I said, I don't even get a trophy. He said, well, yeah, Glenn, there it sits. Right there. He said, you take that trophy. That's how I got that trophy from that show.
And that was 1970, just the beginning of the story.
The end of the 70s.
Yeah. And then the car went on the show car circuit with a couple of famous friends of yours, huh?
Yes. You ever heard of George Barris?
The George Barris?
The George Barris.
I've heard of him.
Yes. So I got to meet him, and they said, "This is Glenn Urie. He's the one who built the Coca-Cola Vending machine." And he said, "What?" He took 10 steps back and he said, "I haul that car all over the world." He said, "Been to Newfoundland and Hawaii and all those places." And he's the one that had me change the 4-run exhaust into the short exhaust right now. He's the one, because they had trouble getting it on and off.
Oh, on and off the trailers?
Yeah, the trailers.
Yeah. See?
So that's why it's got the short ones instead of the long fours.
A legend among legends.
And George Barris was really treated me like great.
That's so cool. That's very cool. So now, who else famous has driven this car?
Bobby Labonte.
Ah,
Yeah.
NASCAR fame.
Yeah, and he went into the Coca-Cola 600 press conference, and I had him. They wanted him to drive it in, and so I said, he got in, and I said, "Bobby," I said, "it's loud." He said, "I drive NASCAR." He said, "I can stand it." And I said, "Okay." I fired it up. He come about 4 inches off the seat, grabbed his ears and said, "Holy cow." And so that was a blessing thing right there.
Where did you get the idea for that intake? Did you just wake up in a dream, or?
I kept watching, looking at things, and I thought, if I buy the off pieces, the singles, why don't I cut them off and put them together and make 4 4s for it? That's what I did.
That's cool.
That's how that became around.
There were no limits back in the day. The wilder, the better.
Yeah, it was. It was really, really great, and it's been great for me forever in our family.
We're honored that you're trusting with us to help it find its next curator.
Yeah.
Cars like this just find a new curator.
Yeah.
You've been a great steward of it, and we certainly appreciate it, Glenn.
Well, we appreciate it too, and thank you very much.
Thank you.